What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. And reserved for the best is super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. That's right, y'all. What's good? Sixth element hip hop. We're back. I'm your host, Reno Noir. We got some juicy bits for you tonight. How y'all been? We missed our show Wednesday. Yes, I know. Shit happens. But yeah, we were gonna do that Downey is Doom and why that's bad version, but like I said, for different reasons, scheduling conflicts with certain individuals and whatnot, just wasn't able to make it happen. But here we are, Saturday, August 10th, and we're here to talk about the D23, the Disney's ultimate fan event. It had some key points, had some all right stuff. I was mostly not very what do you call it, stimulated by it. Didn't do a lot for me, but we did get a lot of new stuff. So Disney Entertainment Showcase started D23 2024 off, I think, with a pretty good solid bang. The 3-hour long presentation delivered exclusive looks at movies, live action reboots, Lilo and Stitch and Avatar, Fire and Ash and Incredibles 3, and shows from like Daredevil, Born Again to Percy Jackson and all this stuff. Whether you're into Marvel, Star Wars, Disney princesses, animation, it's all there. And while the reveal certainly stole the show, Disney made sure to keep attendees entertained with guest appearances. You had stars like Jeff Bridges and musical numbers with their famous orchestral stuff with MOANA 2, Mufasa the Lion King. So it was certainly a night to remember. But D23 is far from over. After you check out everything that the House of Mouse had to reveal at Disney Entertainment Showcase, definitely keep it locked here on Sixth Element. We got way more stuff coming down the pipe. But yeah, man. Starting with the lesser stuff, in my opinion, MOANA 2, not really for me. If you love it, if that's your thing, MOANA 2 trailer reveals new threats and the similar cast, the familiar faces, MOANA herself, and what's the big guy, the Maui dude, the Maori dude, played by The Rock, of course. But yeah, warm welcome from Boss Bob Iger. D3 attendees got to get an extended look at MOANA 2. The little trailer there. It's got MOANA looking to reteam with Maui and the new stormy threat that threatens the life and everything of the community and whatnot. The Rock is partnering with Disney for a monster truck project, if that's your thing. Monster trucks, again, not really for me. But again, if that's your thing, The Rock is coming down to do Monster Jam. He stuck around after after his time to showing off MOANA, which he's the star of, to talk about something new called Disney Monster Jam. Little was revealed about what the project entails, except that it entails monster trucks and The Rock. He said, "I love motorsports. I love monster trucks. I came to Allen and Disney to create something here that is immersive and fun and live action from the point of view of these incredible monster trucks, eccentric and crazy drivers. Monster Jam is going to be a fun ride." End quote. That's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Avatar 3. Again, not really my thing. I'm not a big Avatar guy. I know it's wildly popular. It's, big global phenomenon and all that. It's not really for me. I I don't have anything against it. The first, it's just a little cliche. I mean, the first one was decent, had its merits, I suppose. So part 2 is all about the water. It's a big water based movie. And this third one apparently is going to be fire based. You know, BDBGP salute. What's good, homie? We chilling. How you live? Sada, what's good? Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, I was just talking about the D3, the D23
Make sure
you know, reveals. And talking about
yes, I
Avatar.
saw that was happening. And I was I missed all the news, so I'm excited.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. So then yeah, you'll also get to find out what happened today. I don't know if you're a Moana fan, but the sequel trailer, Moana 2, was revealed. We went over that. The Rock has a monster truck show about monster trucks, if that's your bag. And it's like a reality show, I think. And then Avatar, Avatar 3.
Oh,
Yeah. So I guess this one's called Fire and Ash.
Hmm.
I think the second one was water or something. I think the first one would then qualify as like maybe earth or vegetation. I don't know. Maybe that's the theme. The second one was definitely a water theme, and this one is a fire theme, volcanoes and whatnot. So, you know, maybe the third one will be air, or unless the first one was air. I'm sure they're doing something elemental here. Something elemental is going on. The Titanic director and the Avatar
probably
mastermind James
inspired by
Cameron.
the Netflix adaptation
Mm.
for Avatar.
Okay, I didn't see that. What was that about?
Oh, the adaptation. I mean
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah, it's not connected to the
Oh
Avatar movie that's coming out in 2025.
no, you're thinking
Yeah,
of
no, it's not
two different
connected. It's not
avatars.
connected.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about this Avatar.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking they were inspired by the Netflix, like maybe or they've always been elemental. I'm not sure. I don't keep track of these movies, but yeah.
So is this okay? So is this Avatar as in Aang or as in
No. This is
the blue
Avatar
people?
as in the James Cameron.
Right. That's what I thought. Okay.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Netflix did an adaptation of it?
No. So Netflix did an adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the show.
That's
I'm
what
thinking that they were maybe inspired by like the elemental stuff, but I don't know because I don't keep track of the Disney Avatar movies, so I'm
I
not
see what
sure.
you're saying. I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. They're completely unrelated. Avatar and Avatar the Airbender, not even related in any way. So but this one, yeah, no footage was shown, so we didn't get to see anything about it. Of course, nothing's really done yet, but Zoe Saldana, Sam Worthington did share a first look concept art, you know, while the team prepares for it to premiere December 19th, 2025, or 2025, I mean 2025. That's yeah. 2025. Yeah, they I guess they're going back to Pandora again. The volcano side, I guess. Pixar dives into Disney Plus with Dream Productions and Win or Lose. It's a Pixar movie. And Pixar continuing with its record-breaking run with Inside Out spin-off series called Dream Productions. Is the name of it. And at D23, we got an early look at its logo. But wait, there's more. The animation company will double down on its presence on Disney Plus with its first original series, Win or Lose. So Pixar's going to be doing more on Disney Plus, more shows, more events, more whatever. An exclusive look at the show teased a variety of animation styles, and it will premiere on December 6th of this year. And then just kind of zipping through these ones that aren't really related to our kind of shit. Toy Story 5. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why like They can't just let it die. Like, it really should have stopped after 3, honestly.
3 at the
Yeah,
most? Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
5 is just
Who
kind of pushing.
knows? Yeah. This one is inevitably gonna be about like Gen Z kids and their devices, and they don't really play with toys anymore. So they're under the blanket with their laptops and their iPads and whatnot, and the toys are just sitting there like, oh, they don't play with us anymore. So that theme, um,
Oh my goodness. We already have
that
so many other projects kind of doing that. I just feel like, do we
right,
need to hear from Toy Story? I don't know, but that'll be interesting at the very least.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, 50 rogue Buzz Lightyears are running around. So all kinds of, they'll be trying to up the ante with, whatever they did in the last movie. Pixar is also doing a movie called, or a show, I think, called Hoppers. No, a film. It's a movie called Hoppers, starring
Oh,
John Hamm and Bobby Moynihan. Don't know much about it. It's Pixar, but they're creating new stories in existing universes. So it's also working on something entirely new.
sorry about that.
Oh no, okay. I was like, what? Hoppers is an original animated movie starring John Hamm, Bobby Moynihan, and Piper Curda, and it's coming to theaters in spring 2026. That's all we know. So Hoppers could literally be any fucking thing. That's all we got, a title. Elio is another animated joint coming June of 2025 with another Zoe Saldana casting. And before Pixar moves on to Toy Story 5 and Hoppers, that's when it's doing this universe with Elio next year, set for release on June 13th. It's an animated spacey film with will take players to like, I guess, gamers to different worlds. But in addition to the announcement that Zoe Saldana is joining the cast as Elio's aunt, D23 attendees got to see that little trailer while they were there. Incredibles 3 is announced.
That I'm excited for.
That would be cool. Like, yes, I'm down with
I'm very
Incredibles.
excited for that.
I felt like 2 dropped the ball. I felt like 2 was not
Agreed.
that good. Yeah, I wasn't real
Yeah.
happy with it, but 3, I mean, potential is there. So they always could have done better, and I think they will on this one.
Hopefully so. I think Brad Bird's coming back, so that's pretty good news. But yeah, the
Mhm.
second one was not it. Hopefully they get it together.
Yeah, yeah. But no, yeah, Brad Bird is definitely working on it as we speak. So that's good shit. But no further details really announced as far as plot or anything else. Another one I'm excited for was Zootopia 2. Me and
Oh,
my son, big fans of Zootopia. So that will be cool.
yeah, it looks good.
What's his name? Ki Hui Kwan. The guy from that was Data in the Goonies, who's recently rekindled his career with shows like Loki and stuff like that he's been in. He's playing Gary the Snake. So basically, if you know the first Zootopia movie, it didn't really have any reptiles whatsoever. So it was all furry animals, basically all mammals. And this one, you can see there's a snake tail in the number 2. Sort of reptilian, and then they've got this character here, so they'll have reptiles in this one. That's basically, I guess, the overarching theme or motif.
Nice.
So,
That design is very reminiscent of an old Disney movie. I can't think of
I
what it
was
was.
yes, Robin Hood. That's when I
Yes,
was thinking,
yes,
yeah.
it was Robin Hood. Yes, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that snake looks so familiar. Okay,
That's what I thought of too. Yes, I agree. Just like yeah, I forget his name. He was the king's little kind of do boy. What's his name? Shit, I can't think of it. But anyway, that's he does look just like that. But yeah, Zootopia 2 footage was unleashed at D23. You had Gary the Viper, played by Everything Everywhere, all at once, star Ki Hui Kwan, and a semi-aquatic area called the Marsh Market, which is new. Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde are returning, of course, going on their next adventure in November 26th of 2025. So about a year and a little ways to go. And then Frozen 3, like, why? I guess it's just another cash grab, you know. They're hard at work on Frozen 3, which I wasn't obviously into the first one. I don't know shit about it, guys, but if you were a fan of Frozen or you saw Frozen or you thought it was good or deserved a sequel, I don't know how. I don't know why a sequel was necessary. I don't think a sequel even was warranted after the first one, but they did it, and now they're doing a third one. So Frozen 3.
Really did not need a trilogy of those movies, like, at all, actually. I don't think they're gonna delve into what is there to delve into, really, so I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea. It just blew up because of the song, and then they just won't let it go. I'm like, guys, like, we're done. It's okay.
Yeah, let it die, let it die, let it shrivel up and die. Yeah, Frozen, Hercules, The Greatest Showman stage adaptations as well. They're doing Broadway musicals, of course, Frozen and all that, which is inevitable.
Yeah.
I expect it. Let me see. I don't want to jump on that one yet. I mean, do we jump? Do we? Well, I'm just mentioning stuff at this point. We'll delve into stuff in a second here because I want to get deeper into some of this. But Star Wars had a good few reveals. There was the Skeleton Crew, which yeah,
That's
I
the
got.
one you're not really excited for, right? Yeah.
I have words. I have words. A lot of words. And then Andor 2, super excited, of course. Andor 2, Andor 1 was phenomenal. It's the show. This is the second season, rather.
Very
One of the most beloved Star Wars projects of the last decade. Definitely the most beloved of hardcore old school Star Wars fans. And you know, there is a pocket of the newer generation who just didn't understand it. Where's the lightsabers? And they didn't get it. It wasn't there was not a lot of force spectacle, so they didn't get it. But diehard fans, Andor is definitely it. And there's still time to wait before it comes to the TV screens, of course, sometime next year. The main star, Diego Luna, made sure to reveal behind the scenes footage that shows off some of the major players that it has in store. Specifically, looks like the season, which takes place over a 4-year timeline, will involve appearances from Cassian Andor's droid companion, K2SO, which I love that droid. And then the Empire's aspirational director, Krennic, is back. She was a formidable foe for sure. And then Mandalorian and Grogu, full feature-length film. Another inevitability.
Oh yes, I did see something about that.
Yeah,
the movie is kind of crazy, but we'll see.
Yeah. What this is? That's Andor. That was the Andor sort of promo deal there. There's a little bit of some background, I guess, visuals that they showed at the expo for Grogu and Mando and Grogu, and yeah, you can see some what do you call it, like well-known iconic Star Wars ships in the scene there. It looks like obviously some hangars and a beach setting, much like the beloved Rogue One movie took place on the coast. So we all know that Andor is leading up to Rogue One. So we expect to see lots of intertwining with this and that Grogu and all of that Mando. It's sort of like all intertwined. So, and little is known about how the Mandalorian and Grogu will bring everyone's favorite, unlikely Star Wars duo to the big screen. But with, everybody is faithful that Favreau and Filoni still had some, some secrets to reveal. And, I used to have a lot of faith in those guys. I used to think those guys were the fucking answer to Star Wars. I thought that they were the saviors. They were the ones that were going to protect it. They were the ones that were going to, keep the Kathleen Kennedy crew at bay and keep Star Wars from just becoming some unrecognizable bullshit. But they are making Skeleton Crew, which again I'm going to show you in a few why I feel that they sold out big time. But footage of the movie, which began filming a few weeks ago, teases Grogu in a full suit of Mandalorian Beskar armor and AT-ATs and a planet that looks a lot like Hoth. Definitely an ice planet, lots of snow, so very reminiscent of Hoth. Hopefully will be. And The Mandalorian Grogu comes to theaters May 22nd. We have a date, May 22nd, 2026. So yeah, it's a ways away, but this is the era of knowing about movies years before they're going to come out. Yeah, used to you didn't find out about a movie until a few, months, before it was going to be released back in the day.
I'm like, dang, we getting stuff 2 years ahead of time. I mean, I understand like if you have like a slate or whatever, want to get the excitement going. But if it's 5 years down the line, like, or 3 years, like, let's pump the brakes. Like,
yeah. and yeah, they're just trying to feed because people want to know. It's like, oh, we got the inside scoop. They should hold some of it to the vest. I think they should withhold some things, but I don't think it's always put out by the company. People now there's so many people working there, they can just download something or copy something and then go put it on the internet.
Crazy.
Crazy it is. Ironheart is another one that has been it's not for me. It's not for me. It's just not. Me either. Yeah, it wasn't. Black Panther veteran, Ryan Coogler is taking the stage here at D23 to talk about how he's involved for what's next with Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, following her debut in Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. The new footage on the Disney Plus show, we see Riri keeping up at MIT while worrying about a new superpowered villain played by Hamilton actor Anthony Ramos. But yeah, it comes out in 2025. Don't know. Yeah, it's.
I thought they would have canned that show. I'm not gonna lie. Because we didn't hear anything about that one or the Rhodey Armor Wars movie or show. I think they turned it into a movie. Still haven't really heard too much about that. So I don't know. Yeah, she's just not. She's not for me.
It's just not well done. I mean, the character, the concept of the character is great, but the so far the execution of what I've seen has not been well done.
Not at all. And then you place her in the realm of Wakanda. She doesn't even fit, and then she's just literally back at square zero by the end of the movie, almost as if she never needed to be there in the first place. It's just like, why do we even waste?
Well, just because she's a black character, they had to put her.
Yeah, and it's just like she doesn't even make sense. But all right, black girl, put her in there. Like,
right.
Might as well just have her wait till her own show.
Yeah, and make it. Yeah, exactly. Make it mean something. Fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah. Super excited for this. I've been really excited for this. Because it's now, now we know it's going to be a lot of the stuff from the Netflix Daredevil, which was great. And a lot of the actors and whatnot from that. Not happy with the way he looks in the movie. In the trailers of what we saw, he's kind of like he's in real life been maybe losing a lot of weight, and he looks more fit. And Kingpin is just a wide dude, and the way he looked in Echo was phenomenal. They had his shoulders real big. He was just really boxy, and he looked a lot like he just gave me a Kingpin vibe. In this, he's more slimmed down. He doesn't seem to have that broadness that they made him have in Echo. So I don't know. Maybe hopefully it will be better than it looks. Ironheart just isn't a strong character in comics. Not popular at all. Yeah, it just like I said, it was a great concept, and it just never got. It just didn't execute well. Whoever did it didn't do it.
I feel like she's in the same boat as like Miss Marvel, because she's not that popular in the comics, but I mean, at least she's having a bit more positive reception for her MCU debut. But yeah,
well, they're definitely shoehorning her into stuff a lot. Oh yeah, they I think she's even in the Daredevil thing or something. She's in some she's in a lot of stuff. Yeah, but Daredevil, Born Again, obviously big shoes to fill. Disney took the time to give fans an early look so they can see how it's shaping up for themselves. But, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, and John Barenthal all showed up to reveal footage of Daredevil cleaning up the streets of New York. The Devil of Hell's Kitchen will have to get his hands dirty when dealing with the Punisher and the Kingpin yet again when season 1 comes to Disney Plus March 25th, 2025. Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige also teased that the team at Marvel is ready to get back to work on season 2 very soon. It looks dope. It looks really good. The trailer looks great. I'd love to show it, but I don't want to get flagged or what. You know what happens is when I show stuff, I found it out. What it is like I can show this stuff, but they'll take it down. I've got to dispute it. It takes weeks, but by the time I get it back up, it's old news, so I don't fucking bother anymore.
Yeah, they're
But
so
yeah,
with their copyright, it's crazy.
I know. No, it's not even. So love when Kingpin is in Japan to do his Wolverine in the comics. Oh yeah, dude, he's fucking. Oh wow, I gotta see that one.
Ooh, yeah, they need to like take from the Spider-Verse movies where he was like a literal like box. Like that man was just wide
Yeah.
as hell. Like do that.
Huge.
I don't know.
No, yeah, that's how he that's the vibe. Like that's how he should look. That's how he looks in comics. Like sometimes he'll fill up the whole panel. He's just huge. And that's sort of, because he's got to have that vibe of being the big boss, the biggest guy in the room, and definitely the most taking up the most space. Goes into detail how strong and well trained Kingpin. Yeah. Oh, dude, he's super strong. Like I didn't know that. Super strength. Like yeah, he'd be fucking Spider-Man up and shit. But speaking of Spider-Verse, there's a new comic called Spider Society coming out with the Spider-Verse characters from the Spider-Verse cartoon, the Miles cartoon movie. So yeah, all those characters from the movie, all those different Spider-Men and stuff like that. There's a new comic out. Yeah, it's called Spider Society. Yeah, it could be. It could be. The characters look just like they do in the movie pretty much. So I don't know how related it is to that universe, but it's got to be pretty close because like I said, I can see like there's definitely like that yeah, there's the Indian Spider-Man, of course the Spider-Ham, Noir, 2099, Spider-Gwen. Yeah, they're all here. I would show you a picture of it, but it's not coming up for some reason.
Oh well. Come on, technology.
Old well. But yeah, that's a lot of the different things. The Star Wars sort of section of the D23 was pretty big. It had it's got video games, shows, movies, a couple shows. So yeah, it's pretty extensive. The Andor show was looked really good. The return of Orson Krennic and K2SO on the news on the big screen adventure for the Mandalorian and Grogu show. The first trailer for Skeleton Crew. The fans going nuts in the audience for this stuff. It was really well received at the show. Disney during the Disney Studio Showcase. Skeleton Crew star Jude Law, who plays the main character, Jodna Nawood. What type of name is that? It's fucking stupid.
Really roll right off the tongue.
Yeah, right. It's exactly. It's doesn't look good. I'm not really like not. It doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, but you know what? I will show you guys. I will show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. Let's put this up here. I'm going to show it to you like this.
Oh,
so,
God. December 3rd?
Yeah.
Soon.
So keep in mind, y'all, this is supposed to be a Star Wars show. Right off the bat, I'm not getting Star Wars vibes. A kid in his bed, looking like definitely some Earth shit.
This looks like they filmed it at their amusement park.
And look at this neighborhood. That's Star Wars?
Will set the course of your...
Here, I'll mute it. But this does not give Star Wars vibes. And yes, I was like, wait a minute, what? Okay, John Watts and Christopher Ford. Okay, I don't know who that is. They dropped the ball. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Oh, that's
yeah.
bad. That looks bad.
And just look at the...
Yeah, that looks really bad.
That looks like a street in LA.
This looks bad.
Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. So I'm like, what? Now look at this. Yeah. This is what really, I was like, wait, what is this? This, like, I get they're going for like the Goonies vibe, but it's like literally the Goonies here. This is a subdivision in fucking, Illinois somewhere.
Yeah, it reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where they went to that one planet and it looked like this, but like
Earth.
Yeah, but it's not like this is Star Wars. Like I don't think that's the vibe.
It's not, bro. There's a street here, sidewalks. There's someone walking their dog over here, grassy lawns. Little fucking.
I'm just
ranch houses.
At how bad this looks. Like this looks really bad. Like visually, it just.
You might be right. Like I didn't even get that far. Like I'm just looking at the actual shit here, but you're right. I mean, the puppets look crap. The costumes are not impressive.
Yeah, it just looks like they're all superimposed into the environment, and I'm sure it's all like green screen, but I don't. It doesn't look good.
No, it's and when. I mean, clearly it's supposed to be, like the Goonies or something like that. And it's like, okay, fine, if that's what you're, doing. But here's what Disney's doing. I mean, look, the skeleton, like they're literally doing the Goonies.
Yeah, this is crazy.
It's literally the Goonies. Like they're not even trying to fucking...
Who is this geared towards is what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, I think that they're trying to appeal to both Gen Z kids, because it's a very, like, my son, he was looking at a lot, he's like, oh, a lot of Gen Z, like, stuff that he was noticing, and like that, and my generation, because of the Goonies. Like, we're supposed to be like, oh, it's like the Goonies, but it's like, here's what Disney's doing, and I knew they were going to do this. They're just making their regular Disney crap and stamping the Star Wars brand on it by like trying to like put certain things in motif, obviously, calling it Star Wars, but like, what makes it Star Wars other than, you have some well-known alien looking creatures and like droids in the background and stuff? Like, it doesn't...
Nothing about this screams Star Wars at all. Like,
right. And it might be good. And this is where they're going to catch a lot of people. And here's going to be the big argument, because some people are going to be like, this is a good show. You're tripping. It's like, it might be a good show, but it's not a good Star Wars show. It's not a Star Wars show. It's like, why are you calling it Star Wars? But I get that that's what they bought it for. And here's the thing, y'all. They didn't buy Star Wars to continue the lore or to give us what we want or to make the fans happy or to like get deep into the story because they loved it. They bought Star Wars because it was a profitable franchise that was popular, and they knew they could use that name and brand to market all sorts of toys and merchandise and shows and movies, and they did it for that reason. They did. So, what we have to do is like stop expecting them to every project being something that is even fucking Star Wars. It's like, here's what it's going to be. There's going to be a ton of bullshit projects and stuff that they do with the Star Wars brand. That's all going to be crap. It's just going to be called Star Wars. And every now and then we'll get an Andor or, a decent, because someone that's a big fan of Star Wars, someone that loves it, is eventually going to get a job making something at Disney. And that's when we'll get a project that is decent. But all this, expecting every show to be good and acting like every show is good. Y'all fucking stop it. The Acolyte was trash. It's fucking garbage, dude. Come on.
Oh my god, yeah, I heard that show was awful. Like the people were tearing it apart. Oh my god, that's terrible. And it's like you have all these shows and it's not progressing the universe or the lore in any way. It's just a waste. It's just a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah, it's absolutely not here to further the brand or the lore or progress the story or anything like that. It's here simply to sell merchandise.
That's why we've been without a Star Wars film for like how many years now? That's crazy to even think about.
Yeah. It's already been like 7, 8 years since the last one.
God. And like all this stuff, probably that's not gonna happen till like way later in the show. I guarantee you they spend a lot of their time on whatever looks like Earth. I guarantee it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is big event. Yeah. And look, everything is an animal. Look, here's an animal. That last thing was an owl. Every single alien Disney makes for Star Wars is some animal, like an anthropomorphic. They basically put like an animal head on a bipedal body and call it an alien. It's like aliens in Star Wars were never animals.
Yeah.
Some of them had stuff like one guy might have maybe gills or tentacles or something, but that he's not literally like a squid. Like they'll literally put like a fucking octopus on someone's body and just call it like an alien. Like, no, that's not what they do. And here we go. Every alien. And I first noticed it in the Mandalorian. I think the first like Mandalorian based villain bad guy alien race was like these dog dude. Their heads look like bulldogs. They had like bulldog heads and like human bodies, and I was like, oh, that's just really lazy. And then I noticed more, every single like alien that they come up with, it's some animal, and it's very Disney of them. Like these characters seem just like, it's something that you would see in a Disney cartoon. I mean, obviously Disney's based on animal based characters, from Mickey to Donald Duck to Goofy to Pluto and all of them. They're all animal characters in Disney.
This looks like promotional material for a new area in their theme park. Like this doesn't even feel like
oh my god.
Like all these kids were brought in. It's like, hey, yeah, come on. Oh, here's
bad. And let me show you this scene here. Yeah, the look he gives, it's so cringing and so I gotta play it like in just regular, just so you can see this.
Let's see it. Ew. And I bet you that's gonna be the last episode. He probably got paid like $20 million for one episode worth of work. Like that's crazy. Like, who are you to even do that? Like, I understand if it's someone from like the old trilogy or even the new trilogy.
Right.
Yeah, but like you're an original character, I suppose, or whatever. Like, you there's no need for all this. This is so extra.
Yeah, I think one of the kids is like, "It's a Jedi," and he goes, like, what? When have you ever seen anyone in Star Wars do anything like this?
I'm telling you, like, this is like theme park level promotion right here. Like, this is insane.
I mean, Disney. It is so Disney.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Badness. But like I said, it's gonna be geared towards a certain,
That was a terrible trailer. I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't know. Yeah. Like I don't know who's supposed to get excited by that. Even if it's geared towards my generation, like who would be excited by that? Like that looks crazy.
Yeah, the trailer sort of gives us a glimpse at it's I guess it's like a Goonies type adventure with 4 kids, and they're into some, they go into some strange, new world and get to go on some adventure with, probably some droid or alien companion. It's going to be very cliche, very cookie cutter. Um, very much not Star Wars, just something you would see on any Disney movie or show, and for some reason called Star Wars. I don't know why. I don't know why they do it. Because it's not like it's gonna bring you more money, you
Right.
could have just made a really cool Goonies movie or something if that's what you really wanted to do.
Right.
This is just gonna make fans pissed off.
Exactly. And they're still reeling from the Acolyte.
The Wackolite.
So I don't even golly.
Andor, though, like I said, Andor star and executive producer Diego Luna was also on hand to update fans on the second season of the acclaimed Disney Plus series named for his character, Cassian Andor. And after addressing the audience in Spanish, he expressed his love for the character and excitement for the journey so far. He said, "Thank you for caring so much about season 1." He said, "In many ways, Rogue One changed my life. I've lived with Cassian Andor for almost 10 years now." And with a sizzle shown in room only, those in attendance got visual confirmation that Orson Krennic and K2SO will return to the screen, portrayed by Rogue One, a Star Wars story alums Ben Mendelsohn and Alan Tudyk, so respectively. Obviously, Ben Mendelsohn is one of my favorite actors, period. And I don't even know like why or when that happened. Like just one day I was just like, this dude, like everything he's in is fucking good. Like he's fucking amazing. He's just like quirky, weird dude. He's got like a lisp. There's like seems like he would have no charisma, but he oozes it. The dude is great. And then the behind the scenes peek from the creator, Tony Gilroy, promises an even larger scale and galaxy encompassing vision for the second season versus, the first season. With and the next episodes in the series will sort of be driving towards the birth of the Rebel Alliance and the beginning of the Rogue One movie and what that leads into and all of that. I mean, in season 1, they're basically in prison doing slave labor, building parts for the Death Star, building components and shit, building the Death Star, as it were, building certain parts. Andy Serkis, the guy that plays Golem in Lord of the Rings. He's been in a bunch of Marvel shit and Star Wars stuff now. He's all over the place. Andy Serkis, always in stuff, in fantasy and sci-fi stuff. But he's kind of the main dude in Andor, the one that helps everyone survive. And at the end, they jump off the prison barge into the ocean and escape. But he can't swim, so he's the one guy that can't. He has to stay behind while he saved everybody else, and everybody assumed he died. I didn't think he would die. He's too big of a character, and it's too great of a story that he probably will somehow survive. He's here with Jon Favreau at the D23 presenting the Andor season 2, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be in it, and that'll be awesome because he was a great character in that, and he's a dope actor, man.
Absolutely.
But you know what? He does kind of look like Dave Filoni.
Really?
They kind of favor a little bit. But yeah, a little bit. But Mandalorian creators and executive producers Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni took to the stage as well to share an update on the highly anticipated upcoming Star Wars feature film, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Favreau and Filoni confirmed that the production is underway ahead of its May 22nd, 2026 debut. So things are looking good as far as that goes. And the audience on Friday night got to, get the first new look at the footage from the Clan of Two's biggest adventure thus far. And Favreau said it's the last D23 before the movie comes out, so we had to put something together for you. He said before sharing the sizzle, showcasing all new footage, including Grogu and Din facing off with stormtroopers, snow troopers on a Hoth-like planet, massive Imperial, walkers in the snow, very reminiscent of Return of the Jedi. Not Empire Strikes Back. Return to theaters. Mando and Grogu will merge the beloved characters from Disney Plus with the cinematic scale of the Skywalker saga. Movies like that. So it's supposed to be supposedly on the level of other Star Wars movies. I'm expecting a feature-length show. I'm thinking it's going to be just like Mandalorian, the show, just longer. I don't have any faith that they're going to do anything more than that.
That's not a bad mindset.
That's right, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I've come to accept it. But yeah, the first came Darth Jar Jar. Now Vader swapping his Sith Lord armor for a more sleek white version. A bounty hunting C-3PO, calculating the odds with glowing red eyes. A squad of Akbar clone troopers, all shouting, "It's a trap!" All very clear signs that this is not a galaxy far, far away that we're used to. The Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy has a new game, is the new game. Mace Windu is I guess the main character. But during the D23 Ultimate Disney Fan event, the new official trailer of this game, Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, was revealed ahead of a special presentation featuring Dan Hernandez, the showrunner, writer, executive producer, Benji Sammet, the showrunner, writer, executive producer, James Waugh, showrunner, writer, executive producer, and Lucasfilm senior vice president, franchise content and strategy guy. I don't know I wonder if he's the guy that was like, no white males. But I don't know. Content herding nerfs and sharing tales of the Jedi's heroics with his friends on the planet Finessa. Sig Griebling finds the galaxy shaken up after his brother Dev find a Jedi temple, and remove the mysterious cornerstone alongside newcomer Jedi Bob. Yes, Jedi Bob. Luke Skywalker is back and voiced by Mark Hamill. So it's Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, and this is how, and they've literally taken a stance and said, we've given you Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker again. Disney is really, really sitting on this. So, but yeah, it's a too little too late. But in addition to the official trailer, 4 new parody posters have been released, continuing the theme of taking Star Wars icons and remixing them in Disney ways. The new posters, you have Jedi Bob standing stoically by his green lightsaber blade in a nod to the early posters released before Star Wars Force Awakens, and a light side Darth Vader in all white, surrounded by red in a send up, of early art for the Star Wars The Last Jedi. And then there's the shadow of Darth Jar Jar looming over an innocent young Binks on Tatooine in an homage to the teaser poster for Star Wars The Phantom Menace. So they're like themed, homages, and the forbidden love of Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala is on the Star Wars Attack of the Clones teaser art, with the Lego twist with the new Star Wars cross lovers Leia and Greedo. So Leia and Greedo now.
Okay, that's an interesting pairing.
Yeah, but the full cast was announced. Gaten Matarzo, Tony Rivoli, Marissa Martin, Bobby Moynihan, Michael Cusack, Ahmed Best. Basically just voice actor names you won't know. And a special guest appearance from Mark Hamill, who is again playing his famous Luke Skywalker character, who is also consulting as a producer, joined by the Star Wars by the Skywalker saga alums Naomi Ackie, Anthony Daniels, Kelly Marie Tran, and Billy D. Williams. They The full cast list also includes D. Bradley Baker, T.C. Carson, Trevor Duvall, Jake Green, Jennifer Hale, Phil Lamar, Ross Marquand, Peter Michael, Kevin Michael Richardson, Helen Sandler, Matt Sloan, Matthew Wood, Sam Whittier, and Shelby Young. I don't hear. But yeah, so it's but the game does look very interesting. The Lego game, it looks really cool. I think the Lego Star Wars games have all been great. Lego games are great. They're fucking dope. They're always good. The I just want to talk about the Andor trailer again. The Ben Mendelsohn as Orson Krennic is a big deal. We learned in the post-credit scene at the end of Andor season 1 that the machinery that the prisoners on Nakina 5 were assembling day after day are the parts for the Empire's top secret Death Star project, which I fucking knew, but I thought it was like a no-brainer. But the final scene showed the super weapon on the verge of being completed, and meaning that it'll soon be fully operational and ready to blow things up in the Rogue One and A New Hope, where it we get to see its awesome power, which takes place 5 years after Andor season 1. And we still have to build up 5 more years to get to where all that shit goes down. And as we know, there's a Death Star. We know there's a Krennic, right? Because we now know that Krennic is the dude that put that shit together. He was the director that never got his due, that they overshadowed him. We never learned about him in the movies. We found out in Rogue One. And while the Rogue One villain didn't really appear in the first season of the Andor show, the second trailer screening at D23 confirms that Ben Mendelsohn will reprise his role as Director Krennic as the series approaches the events of Rogue One, because he's the main villain in Rogue One. Considering every set of 3 episodes will cover a whole year in Cassian Andor's life. They're going to be like in sets of 3, right? So the first 3 is year 1 of it, or a year of his life. Second 3, another year of his life, like that. And so it's safe to assume that Krennic will pop up at some point in like the second half of season 2, as the rebels get closer to learning about the Death Star, because at this point they have no idea. In season 1. But since Krennic's Advanced Weapons Research Division falls under the umbrella of the Imperial Security Bureau, we also, won't really be surprised to see the director cross paths with some of the other ISB villains on the show, that we know. So particularly Lieutenant Miro, Major Partagaz, one of their fascist committee meetings on Coruscant and shit like that. But Alan Tudyk as K2SO, the droid, the rebel security droid, was one of the breakout stars of Rogue One. Real tall, lanky. Where is he at? I got a thing of him. Tall, skinny, black, and with like a little orange accents. New droid that they invented for Rogue One. Definitely kind of like was like one of the main, icons of that movie. Definitely was a cool, sarcastic, kind of snarky personality that we really haven't seen in a droid exactly. I would say more like, no, I won't say that we never seen it. We never saw it vocalized. I think he's like R2-D2, but he talks. Like R2-D2 is definitely a snarky, smartass, sarcastic motherfucker, but we don't really hear him talk. We just hear him boop and beep. But this, I think, is like a talking version of R2-D2. I really love that dude, and quickly became a fan favorite. But in the movie, K2 is Cassian's partner in crime. And, even if they don't always get along during the missions, but that's part of the charm. That's part of the, the cool shit. But in the movie, it's dope. But so it was a bit of a bummer that the character didn't return for Andor season 1. We didn't see him yet, but they did. They are confirmed that he's in season 2. And, he was originally an emotionless Imperial droid, when they start. But we know at some point he met Cassian, who reprogrammed him presumably, after, they probably get into a fight and he probably overpowers him and has to reprogram him and turn him into, turn him to, the side of the rebellion, because at first he's a rebel, he's an Imperial droid. And so he kind of reprograms him and makes him this cool rebel droid. And it's a safe bet that when we see Cassie and NK2 first meet in season 2, it will be, probably at first as enemies, but they'll right away end up doing some missions or something like that before Rogue One. Can't wait. Saw Gerrera, played by Forrest Whitaker. Dope character, one of my favorite actors as well. And he's a big character in Rogue One. A character, I think that's pretty much where we first saw him. I don't think he was in Clone Wars, the animated one. I don't know which came first, but he there's like a younger version of him at some point in the I want to say the Rebels show. Not 100%, but there's plenty of other returning Rebels in season 2. Stellan Skarsgård's Luthen Rail is easily the best Star Wars character introduced in a Disney Plus series, easily. And Genevieve O'Reilly's Mon Mothma, jokingly my favorite Star Wars character. But 2 others we saw at D23, Saw Gerrera played by Forrest Whitaker, and Two Tubes, who is another super dope looking fucking character, who we imagine will be making their way to Jeddah in season 2, the planet Jeddah. And in Rogue One, there is a clear rift between the rebellion and Saw's insurgent group. Saw Gerrera's got his own little faction of rebels, and he's controversial even among rebels. The partisans, because the former believes the latter to be too extreme in their methods, right? They think he's just too radical. He'll cross certain lines that most rebels won't. And it seems likely that we'll see just what Saw and the partisans did to end up being that sort of outcast rebel group from the rest of the Rebel Alliance. So that'll be really dope to see. I'm really hoping that's what they dive into. And it must be something pretty bad if Saw thought the rebellion was planning to assassinate him in Rogue One. He was hella paranoid. He knew he was like, they're coming. So he did some shit that was fucked up. So hopefully we'll get to see what that's all about. But other than that, man, the Mando and Grogu movie, well, the trailer was Grogu had made an important choice in the Boba Fett show, right? That's really the only good Boba Fett episodes were the fucking Mando episodes that were all about Grogu and Luke, and it was like some really cool lore shit that we that we really wanted to see. And leaving Luke's fledgling Jedi Academy that he's starting up to return to Din Djarin's side. And because originally it's 100% a Disney move. It's a movie. It's a corporate move. It's a merchandising move. They felt it was more important to keep him with Mando, and that they maybe weren't going to do the Luke Skywalker show anymore. And really, they didn't want to put any more emphasis on Luke Skywalker. They want to assassinate Luke Skywalker. They always have. And so they make him, which it's just out of character that he would go with Luke. It was a dope story that he was going with Luke to train and become a Jedi. And it was kind of like the circle of life, right? You had Yoda train Luke, now Luke's training a little Yoda, and it just would have been this cool thing. And we all thought now they're gonna go and do a series where we see Luke and Mando, and or rather, Luke is one storyline and Mando's another storyline. They'll probably go back and forth, but Grogu was going to be with Luke training and doing all that stuff. Out of nowhere, they send him back in the Boba Fett show to go back and live with Mando and leave Luke. So it was like it never happened. Like they just basically erased that plot point. Yeah, it was just it was kind of whack. But Mando season 3, which was the worst season by far, I don't even really consider it fucking canon. Like that shit was so bad. But it showed Grogu taking his first steps to becoming a proper Mandalorian warrior, like his adoptive dad. Like, so he's gonna, instead of being a force using, Jedi, uh, little Yoda, he's gonna be a Mandalorian. He's gonna be a 2 foot. He's gonna be a 1 foot Mandalorian with 2-inch arms and 1-inch fists. I mean, what is he gonna do? Like, how can he be effective as a Mandalorian?
That doesn't sound great.
It's a stupid thing. You're gonna have him in a little mini armor, like what?
I feel like they're doing that just for laughs. Like they're gonna play it up for laughs.
Well, 100%. It's for laughs and merchandise. They know that shit's gonna sell. Little toys of Grogu in the armor. It's gonna be huge. That shit's gonna be fucking. Collectors are gonna eat that shit up, man. But that's 100% why they're doing it all. That's why it's all a corporate move, for merchandising, putting Grogu back with Mando and all of this stuff. But Grogu not only acquires a few new tricks and the armor that we'll see him using in his adventures, but it'll be fun, I'm sure. But also it helped liberate Mandalore from Moff Gideon, the dreaded Moff Gideon. So it's really no surprise that Din Djarin refers to Grogu as official bounty hunting apprentice in the sizzle. So it's the first time we've heard him say that, but at the expo, he referred to him as his official bounty hunting apprentice. And Din says that he's been more selective with his missions, presumably to not only, as they will probably imply, to better train Grogu, but probably to keep him out of shit that he wouldn't be effective in, that he would have died in, stuff that he couldn't do, basically. So that's why they're being selective in certain missions. But we know from this footage that, at least one of these bounties will eventually lead to another confrontation with the Imperial Remnant, the zombie Imperial guys, or not just the zombie guys, but the Imperial troops that are, still out there, because the whole thing that George Lucas planned was after the, his trilogy, his new sequel trilogy was going to be about how the Empire was now, now the troops and generals and all these battleships and all this shit that the Empire, had, they're still there. I mean, the Emperor was killed and Vader was killed and the Death Star was destroyed and the Empire was abolished, but it was still physically there.
Yeah.
And so those generals and soldiers are like, fuck that. We have all this equipment, we have all this shit. Like, we're gonna just get money, like fucking be warlords and have their own, little factions and run their own little corners of the galaxy and have their own little fiefdoms and shit. And that was what the sequel trilogy was supposed to be about. That and like the crime lords and it was gonna be so good. But he had to sell it, so we get this shit. We sift through the shit. But that's what Star Wars is now. It's sifting through the shit to find the diamonds. And there's some good shit in there, So we continue to dig and we wade and we get shit on us anyway. But although, we still keep coming back. We watch all the shows. As much shit as I talk about Skeleton Crew, I'm gonna watch every episode. I have no choice. I have no choice. Like, I have no choice. Mainly because I do this show, but I have no choice. Like, I have to know what's going on with Star Wars. I mean, it is, and they know that. As bad as I hated the Acolyte, I had to watch every episode to like see just how bad it was. It's weird. Like, there's something, I don't know. There's something. Then they make you.
No, it's like Madam Web. Even though like really no one really watched that, but like some people, you just have an inkling. It's like, how bad is it really? Like, I think it's on Netflix or something now, and I kind of want to scroll through it and see how bad it is. But yeah,
I haven't watched it.
I haven't either. I don't think I'm going to. I don't know. We'll see. It depends. I'd have to be off my rocker to actually like seriously consider it. But
yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely unappetizing in every way to me. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing like redeeming about it. I mean, if I was maybe those girls' ages, maybe then I just watch it to see the girls or something. But even then, not really. Like no, there's nothing. There's nothing there. But with the Mando show, as you might expect, the iconic Razor Crest, his ship, returns, and the internet is full of the somehow the Razor Crest return jokes now, because obviously it was destroyed, but yes, Din's ship from the first 2 seasons of Mando is somehow back just in time for the movie. So we'll see what's going on there, because obviously it was blown to smithereens by the Empire about midway through season 2. So I don't know. It seems Din and Grogu used the downtime between season 2 and 3 to, acquire a new one or rebuild it, or you can't really rebuild it. It was fucking destroyed. So yeah, it's weird. Maybe it's a flashback. Maybe it takes place somehow before the ship was destroyed. Maybe it's some sort of temporal explanation for it. I don't know. But we don't see his starfighter. He had the N1 starfighter, which I wasn't happy. I was not happy with the switch from the Razor Crest to the N1. The N1, it's like a it's like a Porsche. It's like a 2-seater Porsche. It's very small. It's a little sporty thing, but it's just you can't live in it. You can't transport hella bad guys in it. Like the Razor. Yeah, the Razor Crest was like a fucking RV. That shit was dope. I mean, that shit was fly. Like that shit was cool. He had all kinds of equipment in there and carbonite freezer and all kinds of shit. Like he was good. He had his own bed and little room and everything. Like that was cool. That's a guy. That's a nomad. That's a loner. That's a guy who's traveling the galaxy bounty hunting. This makes no sense. This is an obvious something that like a little kid would be like would accept, like very much for merchandising. They're not, because that Razor Crest that is so practical. It's not a cool looking ship. It's not sleek. It doesn't look like a race car or anything like that. So I guess for merchandising, the N1 makes more sense, because in the story it makes none. Whatever the case, though, yeah, we wouldn't be surprised if the movie, spent at least a minute or two explaining how this Razor Crest is back. Hopefully, it's not some multiversal version or some shit. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Zeb. Okay, Zeb is a character from the Rebels animated show, who we've seen in live action, and he looks phenomenal. He looks phenomenal in live action. I really dig this character, the way he looks, because he's from the animated show, the Rebels, Star Wars Rebels. In live action, he looks great. And he's hanging out with Din and Grogu in the cockpit of the Razor Crest. And he's he made the jump to live action in season 3 of Mandalorian. That's where we first saw him in live action. We learned in season 3 that after the fall of the Empire, Zeb joined the New Republic as a pilot, right? So the last time we saw him, he was stationed on Adelphi with the New Republic Rangers, Carson Teva and Trapper Wolf. His appearance on Mando was just an appearance. It was just a cameo. You just saw him for like a few seconds. It was just enough to be like, oh fuck, that's Zeb and he looks fucking cool. But yeah, hopefully he'll get more to do in the movie. Hopefully he'll be a much have a bigger part. Presumably has a lot more budget now for this movie. Is supposed to be on the level of a real Skywalker saga film. I don't believe it, but that's what they're saying. And the budget, the CGI required to bring a Zeb to life and be a main character or have lots of screen time, is a lot. So it would take that kind of a budget, and he wasn't at all in the Ahsoka show. Despite that show featuring the rest of that crew, he's the only character that would have had to been totally CGI basically, and wasn't in it.
Dang.
Like, what? Where's Zeb? Why isn't he in it? That's why he's not in it. They didn't have the budget. Period. Which, when I say they didn't have the budget, I don't really know what the fuck that means. It's Disney.
Yeah.
But they're allotted an amount. That's what's the budget, right? Disney says you get this much, and they're giving them a small amount. It's bullshit. Or they're just not managing it well. They're putting
I feel like they're not managing it well. Because I think about shows like She-Hulk or Secret Invasion, and those had high budgets, and you couldn't tell. So it's I don't know. I feel like they're probably not managing it well.
The Acolyte, they gave him $180 million.
Are you serious?
100%. And where the fuck did it go?
Nothing. No way. That's crazy.
The shit looked like it was filmed on TV show sets. It had, I mean, they didn't even bother to create alien vegetation when they were in jungles. They just literally used plants that you see in the fucking mall anywhere, like regular house plants, regular plants. I was like, are you kidding me, dog? It looks like they're walking through a plant nursery in Florida that I know. I couldn't believe it, man. It's like, where you telling me $180 million and that's what you gave me? Like,
it's like, where is it going? Like, is this a money laundering scheme? Like, what's happening right now?
That's what it looks like, man, because how can you mismanage it that badly? Like, someone's pocketing some money or something. Like, you're not spending this on that fucking show I saw. And if you are, like, someone overcharged you for some shit. Like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see whether Zeb's role in the movie ties to like the events of Ahsoka at all, or explains why he's not in Ahsoka. Maybe they would be able to use that. It'd be a brilliant move to take the budget for the movie to have Zeb in it and use that time that he's in it to explain why he wasn't in Ahsoka and make it make fucking sense. Because the New Republic at large has heard about the return of Grand Admiral Thrawn by now, so Zeb would definitely be looking up the crew to be like, yo, y'all, like, Thrawn is back, like, so. And the bulk of the footage, the meat of the footage takes us to the ice planet that is yet unnamed, that looks a lot like Hoth, which is the planet where the movie Empire Strikes Back starts out. And it's crawling with Imperial forces. You have the iconic snow troopers, one of my favorite looking characters. They've got like this like long like leather, I guess like a white like mask that sort of goes, I can't explain. I got a figure, but I don't feel like getting up. But yeah, the snow troopers are there. The fucking walking, the big AT-ATs, the giant walking things that you saw in the old Star Wars movie, those are all there. And this is all meant to tease a Din and Jar and Grogu adventure on the planet Hoth from The Empire Strikes Back. That's what it's got to be. Like, I don't know, but a return to that frozen iconic wasteland would definitely track, and it would definitely win over a lot of fans. It would be a big like fan fan move, whatever the fuck you call it. But because Hoth, like I said, it's Empire Strikes Back, arguably the best of the original trilogy, arguably the best of the George Lucas movies. Like, arguably, like honestly, most people's favorite of the Star Wars movies, of the 6 George Lucas movies.
It was a good flick.
It's my favorite. It's my number one. My number 2 is the third one, where we get to see the creation of Darth Vader. The third of the prequels, Revenge of the Sith. And then my third favorite one, above all the George Lucas ones, is Rogue One.
Yeah, a lot of people really like Rogue One.
It's so good. So fucking good, dog. And you know, Andor is just as good. So like that's fucking really like, you know, when people say nothing good has come from Disney, no good Star Wars shit has come from Disney, and they'll be like Mando's is okay, and it's okay, it's good, it's good, but nothing really fucking amazing. But no, Rogue One and Andor is on the level of George Lucas's Star Wars, in my opinion, better than most of it.
Damn. Oof, and that was how many years ago? Woo, especially for Rogue One. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's way back, man. That's way back. I'll tell you, it's back before everyone realized what Disney was doing with Star Wars. It's back before people realized that Star Wars was gonna suck now.
Yeah.
Way before that. Like even when the sequel trilogy was happening, like when Force Awakens came out, people were still at Force Awakens. We were like, yeah, fucking, we loved Force Awakens at first because we thought where it was going. We at first it's like, oh, this is like an updated version. It's almost a reboot, a rehashing of the first movie, but with like totally new shit, and it looks fucking amazing. And they're using CGI and live puppets and live creatures and live shit, and it's like they're combining it instead of, because the original movies, no CGI.
Yeah.
The prequels, pure CGI. This was a combo, and it was perfect. Force Awakens, I don't care who you are, you're a liar if you don't say you fucking loved it at first. The second movie came out, and it made us hate everything about the first one. It made us hate that one. The third one, we thought it was going to redeem it. It didn't. It made it worse. But there's a lot of people still that didn't even get it until after the third one came out. Still, people were on a high going. People were putting out videos crying about it. Kevin Smith, like
Yeah.
I remember all that shit.
That was crazy.
Right after the third one, it wasn't until like a few months after the third one, the internet started to like put posts in. You started hearing shit like, dog, that shit sucked. Like, wait a minute, like what was this? And like, what? Hold on. And then people were like, what? It was so comical. It's like, dog, you really didn't fucking, oh man, like it really had
that euphoria, man. It'll cloud you real bad.
big time. The force was clouded. Yes, force was fucking clouded, for sure. But yeah, man, I don't know. But the return to Hoth again would be, you know, definitely a cool nostalgic move. You know, considering that Mando, the franchise, is basically nostalgia for the original trilogy. Mando is definitely beloved by the OG fans because it takes place around. It's really the secret of Mando. The funny thing, the secret of Mando is it's parts of what George Lucas's sequel trilogy would have been. See, Filoni knows George Lucas personally. He knows what his original trilogy was going to be. The Mandalorian show would have taken place whether Disney made the sequel trilogy or George Lucas made the sequel trilogy. And what I mean by that is the stuff that takes place in Mandalorian is all taken from George's script for the sequels.
Wow.
That book I had, the Star Wars Archives that I showed y'all, George Lucas's real script for his version of the sequel of the trilogy. Yeah, it's really crazy, man. Like Mandalorian is right out of that. Like the Imperial troops that are, you know, remnants of the you know, the troops that are still out there with their equipment and shit. Moff Gideon, you know, this general from when the Empire was there, he's now still got his troops and he's still, you know, doing shit. Like he's after Grogu because he's trying to, you know, revive well, in this version he's trying to revive Palpatine. That's what we know. We know Grogu, the whole thing about the DNA, and he was trying to, it's all going to the cloning of the Emperor. And but that's the Disney nonsense. But yeah, like a lot of the stuff from Mando is right out of George's original trilogy. So it would have definitely so it's definitely like it hits a lot of, you know, it hits with a lot of fans. Like a lot of real OG fans love Mando for that reason, whether they know it or not. It's because it fucking takes place in a universe that makes sense to us. It's logically where shit would be after those original movies, and nothing else Disney has done that. Rogue One tells us what takes place, in that time frame too. But and that's why it's beloved. But yes, yeah, I mean, I don't know what Din and Grogu would be doing on Hoth so many years after the end of the war, unless there's some remnant faction doing something on it. One possibility is that they're trying to locate some sort of MacGuffin at the old rebel base that would help the New Republic against the TRON threat. And we see the planets crawling with Imperials, and so there's something of importance there. And this is way after the war. This is so the Empire is no more at this point. So all these Imperial walkers and shit we see, these are all run by warlords. But again, that's straight out of George Lucas's trilogy. But of course, it was also likely that this isn't Hoth at all. This is just a snowy place, right? A new location that is also an ice planet somewhere, from Star Wars past. Maybe it's Ilum, a planet that will one day be transformed into the Starkiller base from the books. So that's one possibility. And Din and Grogu coming to this planet would be a way for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie to continue to bridge the gap between the original and the sequel trilogy, which is what it now attempts to do. But the planet is also rich in kyber crystals. So perhaps this is all eventually leading to Grogu becoming a lightsaber wielding bounty hunter. Maybe he will still get his lightsaber and use the Force and be a Mandalorian bounty hunter. I don't know. Maybe that's a little too fanficky. We'll see. But Babu Frick, if y'all remember from the original or from the sequel trilogy, the little tiny alien dudes that work on droids, really cool little alien. It was one of the coolest things Disney did as well, as far as alien species, not an animal. They were actually little tiny creatures, Anzellans, they're called Anzellans or something like that. I forget. But it's the same species that we see in the Rise of Skywalker, Babu Frick, the little droid smith. But this isn't the first time that Grogu's crossed paths with this species. In season 3, we saw a whole crew of them on Navarro, right? They where they worked to fix the IG-11 robot. So we've seen them in the Mando before, but we have to wonder whether IG-11 will pop up in the movie. I think he absolutely should. He's definitely an iconic favorite from the show, from comics and everything. But from the looks of the footage, they will definitely need all the help they can get, because they're pretty much they're getting fucked up pretty good. So it looks like it's going to be a crazy adventure. But yeah, it's so much with Star Wars, man. It's so much with Star Wars at the D23. It really kind of overshadowed a lot of shit. But I definitely want to talk about Daredevil at some point. The new look at Daredevil Born Again shows Charlie Cox's character and Kingpin in a new light. And might tease a new villain. There's some new, brand new promotional art was unveiled at the fan event D23, giving us a closer look at Daredevil, Kingpin, and a possible hint to another comic book character. But the art, I can try to, let me see if I can swing it over here. Oh yeah. Yeah, the little promo art they do. Where'd it go?
Just stay.
There it is. There you go.
Ooh.
Some like graffiti. And then there's a Kingpin one. It's a whole other one. Let me see if I can find that one. Yep. Boom.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's like a TVA time door at D23. That's what it that's the thing. I'm not that the TVA is going to be in Daredevil. I don't think. But the art, it may be. I don't know. The art was on was posted on Twitter by Phase Zero in attendance at the event, who says the graffiti-like promo art was presented through a TVA time door in what looks to be a makeshift like New York City alleyway. On one wall you see the Daredevil with the words "Born Again" and written underneath, and then this one here is with the Kingpin, who's you see face has been painted twice, one smiling and one frowning, with the words King and Pin printed on each side. Like King is kind of smiling and Pin is kind of frowning. And other than these leaked images and shit like that, and its new logo, the Daredevil logo, which I think we saw already on the yeah, that's the logo that's on my thumbnail there with the buildings at the bottom and shit like that. So we saw that was released officially, unveiled. And the reboot, which is due to premiere on Disney Plus next spring, we already knew that Vincent D'Onofrio was coming back as Kingpin, just as he appeared in the original Netflix series. But this look confirms that he will be back as his regular like white suit guy from the first Netflix show, rather than the more comic accurate Kingpin that we got in Echo. Sadly, I don't know why. Most interesting part though of the promo is the art, is the fact that it's painted. And because after a picture of Daredevil Born Again set was leaked showing Kingpin graffitied on the wall, it was predicted that a rather vicious comic book villain may be getting their on-screen debut, named Muse. Not only a supervillain, but a prolific serial killer. Muse is one of the most violent Marvel villains who likes to paint murals using blood, his victim's blood. And that's kind of his thing. So it's possibly a foreshadowing, but it's nothing confirmed. But there's an official synopsis for the series that hasn't really been revealed yet also. But the first trailer was recently shown behind closed doors, which showed Charlie Cox back in the Daredevil iconic suit. Plus, has been confirmed that the show welcomes back the bulk of the 2015 Netflix cast. Deborah Ann Wall is back as Karen Page, right? Eldon Henson is back as Foggy Nelson. Winston Bethel as Bullseye. John Barenthal as Punisher. Frank Castle. So it's looking really good. And I think is very promising for this possible rebooting of the MCU that we may be on the verge of, considering Daredevil and Wolverine and the way that all went, and what we're seeing them doing with bringing Russo brothers back and all that kind of shit. So hopefully they're actually turning things around, maybe if not slowly but surely. But yeah, definitely one of the most hyped reveals at D23 was definitely Daredevil Born Again. The trailer and all that was definitely a main fucking attraction at this event. You've got like, I don't know, there's something Disney Plus is like collecting all its Marvel Infinity Stones. It's like and I don't know. So the trailer, which I'm not gonna really show because it's, again, I think not really worth all the nonsense, but you can easily look it up on YouTube. It's dope. But yeah, it's got the vibe of, I think, of the first 3 seasons, especially season 3 of the Netflix show. It really kind of captures it well. And you know, I think we're going back to those bloody days again. It seems like with some nice, real like rated R type action and violence and goodness that we love as fans of comic books, which are fucking rated R and bloody and violent. And like, I don't know where this fucking PG shit came from. Like, comics are not PG, so what's going on? But this is, of course, after the bizarre idea that had Daredevil returning in a much different form, cutting almost all cast members and making some new courtroom drama that would probably be very related to She-Hulk and like this whole thing that it was going to be. So very happy that that entire concept was scrapped, and now we're getting whatever we're getting now, which is something more close to what the Netflix series was with those same actors. So very promising versus what we were first hearing about Daredevil.
Yeah, because I remember they scrapped the first 5 episodes or so, and they were like, "Nah, just do it again." So fingers crossed.
Yep. And now it's called Born Again.
Yeah.
But the trailer reveals also the return of John Barenthal as Frank Castle. So the Punisher will definitely have a role in this season, which is yes, very, very good, because you know, he was definitely one of the coolest parts of Daredevil. He's definitely one of the best actors in any of the Netflix shows. So it can only be good. It can only be good. And there's also a jailed Bullseye played by Wilson Bethel. Bullseye, who's returned after his excellent turn in season 3. So, but maybe, and also Tiger and Muse are briefly seen. So, but very little of Karen and Foggy in this trailer. They were fucking there though, so they're letting you know, yes, they're there. How much they're in this show, right? I mean, and look, if the show's not a big law-based law show, they don't have a lot to do with it. But
right,
the Netflix show, it wasn't really a law show, but it was all about their law firm, but there was very little like court stuff, you know, dramas and stuff like that. It wasn't really about that. So hopefully they'll keep it that way. I mean, turning Daredevil into a law drama, it's like no. Daredevil is a fucking blind ninja. Like, come on. A gothic fucking devil ninja. Like, come on. And all of this, you know, is a dope reunion of the core cast. Vincent D'Onofrio and Deborah Ann Wall, Charlie Cox, Eldon Henson, John Barenthal. It was just dope to see them all back. They're all still looking fit, and like they, you know, some of them are even looking more fit. They've been training. Like, this shit is gonna be very good. Like, these people have been on this shit. Like, this is not like just some, oh, let's bring the guys back and they're going to be kind of goofing around and tongue in cheek. No. They're very serious about this one. So it'll be very good. And like I said, one of the fan favorites of the MCU, one of the fan favorites of D23. So despite being very much detached from the larger MCU storylines, but, you know, it did seem, you know, like a dead end after their mass removal from Netflix. But with enough fan demand, Disney brought it back. I'm only sad that we didn't get more hip hop Luke Cage. But who knows what the future holds. But and it's open to a question whether Disney is going to fully revive the old Defenders, right, with Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Jessica Jones. Which I just really recently watched all those shows. I'm gonna keep it fucking honest. I didn't watch any of the. I only watched Daredevil back when it came out. I didn't watch Luke Cage, Iron Fist, or Jessica Jones. I don't know what else was on at the time. I'll have to look back during that year and see what else I was watching, but I don't think I just didn't have time to fit those in. But I recently rewatched all of them, and as much flack as Iron Fist got, it was still definitely watchable. And like, when you got into the vibe of all of them, it was much better. I think, you know, if you try to watch it too far after you've been watching that stuff, it really doesn't pick up well, but it definitely stays within the vibe, and it works. They're all good. They're all good shows. So if you haven't seen them or you just skipped them or whatever, go check them back out. Kristen Ritter strongly hinted at a Jones return on her social media. She has been for a while now. Her Jessica Jones. So it's very, very possible. And you know, we also know that Marvel is apparently focusing on street level content on Disney Plus. That's what they're because let's be honest, street level shit is cheaper. It don't cost as much as cosmic level stuff or super duper superhero level stuff. Street level heroes are much cheaper to produce. So we already have Echo, right? Kingpin, Daredevil. So it would be odd to stop at just those two shows. So, and like I said, they should be cheaper than, you know, insane D plus productions like the $200 million Secret Invasion bullshit. And that's another one. 180 on Acolyte, fucking 200 million on fucking what do you call it? Secret Invasion. It's like that's what's up. I probably won't be though. I'm actually about to wrap it up. I was gonna probably rock for like 2 hours, which we're about hitting up to that 2 hour mark, but a few more minutes. But yeah, I mean Disney's been spending all on all its content. I don't know where the money's going. These shows look like fucking CW shows with maybe a little bit extra CGI or something like that, but not well done, not well acted, not well written. It's like, yeah, maybe you're spending all the money on the wrong shit. Maybe hire some better writers. Or maybe you're just afraid to shame the writers, or when they give you shit material, it's okay to be like, hey man, like let's maybe talk about this. Let's revamp it. Redo. There's a way to do it. You don't just have to, oh, every idea is great. Everyone gets a trophy. No, that's how we get this trash. It's not an effective fucking way to do this. You gotta fucking go back to the drawing board sometimes, guys. It is what it is. That's what you gotta do. We had a few more announcements. They're doing a Snow White remake, which I will say I was impressed with something about it. It's like a Latino version of the character Snow White and everything, and apparently they were originally, instead of having the 7 dwarves, they were just going to be 7 women of different ethnic backgrounds. Just not even little women, just 7 regular adult women. Then they started getting a lot of flack and backlash from the little people community who were like, oh, so you're going to fucking, just cut us out of the whole fucking thing. Like, when fucking Snow White comes around, that's jobs for us. Like, these movies and shit, like certain characters, when that shit come around, that's jobs for us. We kind of fucking got the monopoly on Oompa Loompas, lollipop guilds, right? Certain shit. So then Disney, because of that, not because of it's a better idea, but because of that, they didn't, the controversy or whatever, they switched to doing dwarves, but completely animated dwarves, completely not people at all, not little people, not human at all. So, which I think is, thank you. Exactly. The characters in Snow White are not human. They're not supposed to be. It's part of a fantasy world. It's a fantasy. It's fantasy. It's like fantasy. It's no different than fucking Lord of the Rings or some shit. They're dwarves. They're not little people. They're not humans that are short. They're dwarves. They're fantasy creatures, literally, like an elf. They're elves, they're dwarves, they're fantasy-like creatures. So, perfect way to go about. I was impressed that they are making an actual dwarf, actual movie with actual dwarves, like actual fantasy dwarves. Like, here's what I mean. They're not Those aren't right. Those are actually fucking made up creatures. And whether she's Latino or not, or Latina or not, is really irrelevant. She looks like the character. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. No one cares about, you know, ethnic backgrounds or any of that. It's like, dude, just pick the person that plays the role the best. And that looks like Snow White to me. I don't care what she was. I don't care if you told me that she was Korean. She looks like Snow White. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. So it's good. Looks good. Looks like I don't know, it looks good. It's not for me, but hey, they're doing like it's an actual remake that actually looks like the thing they're remaking. So whatever you want to think about it, that's what I'm saying here. It looks like the thing they're making. It looks like Snow White. That's a relief, I will say. It's refreshing. It's refreshing. And you know, this is coming 90 years after the original Snow White. This is damn near 100-year-old fucking cartoon from Disney. 1937. You realize that? Like, this is 2024. 1937. It's damn near 100 years. It's 90, you know what I mean? So it became a cornerstone of the Disney empire. Huge. Multiple takes on the Brothers Grimm tale have made it to the screen, right? You've had Lily Collins, Mirror Mirror. You've had Snow White and the Huntsman recently with Kristen Stewart and fucking Charlize Theron. You know, and it's one of several Disney live action movies to open in this in the coming months, and were talked about at D3. You had the Mufasa and the Lion King. There's the Lilo and Stitch is doing a live action one. They just did Beauty and the Beast or something. Aladdin, Little Mermaid. So this is a trend. It's something that they're doing. It's something you can expect to see more of. Moving on, Tron. Tron is a franchise Disney has now that is now Disney's. And Tron, they're doing a new Tron joint. It's called Tron Ares, and Jared Leto, who played the Joker in Suicide Squad in one of the Justice League movies, came and opened up about his role. He said, you know, putting the suit on was a big deal for me. You know, he's a big fan of the culture, the technology of the original movies and shit like that. He was like, and he's 52 right now. He's already 52. I swear he looks like he's 30 or something like that. But he told people that he would speak to the culture and the technology of the times that we're living in. More specifically, the film appears to like have like an AI core. It's definitely promoting AI. Disney is promoting AI. Accept it. Get over it. Evan Peters has a character. He's like, we've been looking in the wrong direction for the intelligent life. Because remember, Tron, they're like trying to get human life, like trying to get intelligent. But like, he's like, we don't look out, we look in. It's all about AI, baby. Leto's character, meanwhile, takes a more sinister tone. He's like, I came here to find something importance, permanence. So could be something cool. It could be dope. This could be good. Could be whack. You never know. You never know with Disney, man. It's a fucking crapshoot. It's hit or miss. But yeah, after the first extended look was unveiled at the Expo, Leto told People magazine, or People, I guess it's called now, that joining the Tron franchise, which he has long been a fan of, is incredible and a big deal for him. He said, I mean, I must have seen the first Tron a couple dozen times growing up. I was not personally a big Tron fan, like the old 80s movie. Like, it was there. I was really young. Like, I was real little. He's what, 50? He's what, 52? So he's what, 7 years older than me, at least. So yeah, he was way older than I was when Tron came out. Way older. So, you know, way more cognizant and conscious. So like when I was a little kid and Tron came out, I didn't care about it. And it kind of was like a little bit off-putting when I was real little. So I didn't even get it. Later, you know, came to love it and everything, and the reboot was cool and shit. So, you know, I dig it, and it's got potential. But, you know, you know, is what it is. But he was like, yeah, he was like, I loved and still love Tron. Like, he emphasizes this. So when you have a fan of something and they're portraying it and adapting it, that's when it's good, y'all. That's when we like it, whether you know it or not. When you like a portrayal or an adaptation of something, it's because the people making it and the people involved were fucking fans of it. When you don't like it, and they do this a lot, they have it full of people that are not fans of it, couldn't care less about it, and that's why it sucks. Hence Marvel, or hence Star Wars and a lot of Marvel bullshit with Disney. So, but he was like, it was a pleasure when I was researching and kind of developing the character to visit the first film and the second film multiple times, and that was really fun for me as a kid. He said, end quote. But yeah, he was also in that movie Requiem for a Dream. That was a crazy fucking movie, dog. Yeah, if you haven't seen Requiem for a Dream, do yourself a favor. It's cool. And he was like, yeah, I really fell in love with the technology. He said it was a world that I hadn't seen before. Of course, all that time playing video games were an important part of the culture. So that first film really spoke to computers, video games, and it's what I think is interesting about Tron. It kind of speaks to the culture and the technology of the times that we're living in. And we certainly did that with the third one as well. So, like, referring to the original one really having a lot to do with the state of technology at the time in the 80s, computers, video games. I remember the Tron video game in the 80s. And like, I used to think like, did they make the movie after the game, or the game after the movie? Like, as a kid, I didn't know. But like, yeah, it was, because it was very much about that. And it was like a game developer and, like, computer programmers and shit at the time. So then the second one was very much, encapsulated or whatever the fuck with the current technology of the time. Like, this one is definitely, going with AI is definitely following along with that same motif. But yeah, he's like, they built an amazing suit, and I probably think that I could have used the suit in a real world certain circumstances, like wearing a piece of armor head to toe. He said it's about 45 pounds, but it's still flexible. But when you put it on, you feel like a warrior, and Ares, like the name, is indeed a warrior. So I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be dope. It looks cool. There's a lot of info about it, man. It's a trilogy now. So the original movie follows this dude named Flynn, right? Who's Jeff Bridges is the character. So it's like an early Jeff Bridges joint. And he's a character named Flynn, who's a computer hacker who is like transported into the computer, right? Into a digital world. And he's got to fight his way out through like different gladiatorial events. And the sequel comes out like 30 years later almost, and Tron Legacy with Garrett Hedlund now portraying Flynn's son, Sam, who re-enters the digital world in search of his father who went missing. And it's like fucking crazy, right? It's dope. And Tron, he went missing way after, so it's like he's gone back, and like he goes and he finds him. It's great. So Tron Ares builds upon the legacy of that, the cutting edge design, the technology, and the storytelling of all of this of the second movie. Basically, it's kind of like built on that style. So it can't be bad. It looks good. It looks real good. So a lot of good shit came out, man. A lot of good shit was revealed at D23 if you missed it. So yeah, man, now now we have busted it down and broken it down for y'all. So y'all hang out, man, and have a good weekend, and I will see y'all Wednesday when we come back, and hopefully chop it up with raw talk about this Downey nonsense. All right, y'all. Be easy, be safe. Love. Peace.